Oh my god, somebody killed the Amogus trend.
Dunkey. It was Dunkey. But before we get to know how, we are gonna take a look at the minor reasons. Through the rise of popularity of the game in the previous few months, it's no surprise that it got into the eyes of hackers and such. And even though there is no strict reward system for winning the game, the number of hackers increased, ruining the gaming experience for most people. The hacks included being able to turn into an imposter regardless of your turn, being able to see who the imposter is, the ability to not get ejected if crewmate, able to enter vents as a crewmate, walk through walls, able to change game settings when you are not the host, and other similar hacks. Now, the main reason why people did this was to record the gameplay and post it online, as due to the game's popularity, there was a high chance that YouTube algorithm could pick up the video and promote it to millions. Hence, even though there is no reward system for the game, you are still able to get millions of views and revenue. Along with these hackers, there are also these Discord cheaters who are in call with their friends and basically telltale on the imposter or defend him for no reason. And this is for the same reasons as well, to get views on YouTube. People soon started to make different mods to make the game more interesting. Roles such as detective roles, jester roles, robot battle royale came into existence, even though some of the roles are quite unnecessary. The videos that came into existence were quite entertaining.
I can get this. There's gonna be 2, maybe more. That he walked into it.
Now the problem here is that normal players mostly play the game on the mobile phone and on public lobbies, whereas these mods were available mostly on PC and only works when everyone in the lobby had these mods installed. So naturally, people found the game boring and started watching these YouTubers instead because they have no friends just like me. And the number of people playing the game decreased, which in turn led the trend to its demise, because it's always the people who drive these trends. Inner Sloth is a small indie company. When they made Among Us, it was just another project for them, like the Henry Stickmin video games, which at the time were available online. They had no idea that this simple party game would blow up to this extent. And they were right, because it took 2 years for the game to be widely recognized, and when it did blow up, the devs had no idea on how to handle this much fame and obviously money. They wanted to make a sequel for the game, but seeing how the first game was getting so much praise and also tackling the dilemma how sequels rarely keep up with their predecessors, they decided to scrap that idea and just focus on the main game instead. And this was their biggest mistake. And I'll tell you why exactly. Instead of making the game better, they ended up making them worse. With the rise in popularity of the game, the servers were getting flooded, so they had an idea to fix it. They decided it would be better to put 3 different servers in the game located in North America, Asia, and Europe. And while it looked like it worked, it actually messed up the RNG of the game. If you don't know what RNG is, it's the random number generator. And the servers were still fucked. You could not even join the servers that had less than 5 people. And as for the RNG, it affected the game in such a way that it unfairly distributed the role of the imposter. I remember I took part in an Among Us tournament that lasted for over 2 hours, and I only got to be imposter 2 times. 2 times in a span of 2 hours. To this day, these issues have not been fixed. Of course, with the broken servers came server errors as well. Once the game begins, more than half the people leave the game, and I know that this is mostly because people cannot get the imposter role, so they leave quickly. But can you really blame them? You have to wait a long time just to get an imposter role once. What really bothers me is when people get disconnected mid-game due to server errors. The player is happily doing their task 1 second, and then the other second, poof, you have an older version of the game, please update. Even though you have already updated the game last night. With the coming of fame and money, Inner Sloth decided to make a new and furnished map with new features such as the ability to choose where you spawn and to move up and down on ladders. quite lengthy features, I must say. They released the teaser for it back in December 2020 and did no further advertisement or marketing for it. And it's almost March now. This in turn has killed the hype that was surrounding the new map, and if they do release it, it would only hype it up for a few days before going back to its dead state. Hey, who knows, maybe they'll surprise us somehow. He stopped uploading Among Us Tuesdays. That's all.